Do you dream of turning your story idea into a book or a movie or a TV show or all of the above? Well, so do I. I have dreamed that dream many a time. But then I got help to actually make that dream real, and I began the process. In all seriousness, that is what I want to share with you. I want to help you start your process, make your dreams come true. Yay! I mean it. As cheesy as it sounds. I am so grateful for all the help and guidance that allowed me to become an award-winning indie filmmaker and two-time National Endowment for the Arts grant-winning author. Yeah, leading to this project attracting producer funding and Patreon member support. In appreciation for the help that I got along the way, I want to pay it forward to you. Let me show you how to take your story idea and turn it into a sustainable arts career. Allow me to guide you through the steps by giving you an overview of the step-by-step process of how I transformed a story idea, Northport 1999, into a thriving creative journey. Join me as I walk you through a bit of what I have learned along the way. Before we dive in, if you find this video useful, please hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell. This is my process. There are many ways to achieve your creative goals. In fact, you could say there is no right way to tell your story. It's a writing pun. And what I'm going to share with you is what worked for me. I hope that you can find inspiration and insights to adapt to your path. Here is an overview of the steps to turn a story idea into an arts career. You start with the initial story idea. Wow, no shit. My story idea came from having a sleep paralysis nightmare. I saw a monster. I woke up that night and I drew the monster, this monster that could paralyze its prey and take its time while it eats them face first. Hence the name, the Face Eater. So I had this flash of inspiration, and the next day I started writing this scene for what I thought was just going to be a short film, and then I'd move on to the next thing, you know, nothing too special. Well, the pandemic happened, and suddenly the idea of getting together with a bunch of people and making a short film just didn't seem feasible. But I had this idea stuck in my head, and I was just talking about it a bunch with my mother, who is also an author and a multimedia artist, and she was asking all these great questions like, where did the monster come from? How does it paralyze people? Who's its first victim? What's their backstory? These great questions helped me uncover this layered story world with a whole cast of characters. And that's when I decided to write the idea into a novel. What is the one way that you can tell any story you could ever imagine with no budgetary limitations? Nobody can tell you, we can't afford that, you can't do that, you can't get that actor. Writing a novel. The novel is your way of telling any story you could ever imagine with zero limitation, zero budgetary concerns. So then I faced the challenge of, I'd never written a novel before, which brought with it all sorts of doubt, whether I could write well, write a compelling story that would be entertaining, that anyone would care about. To overcome this challenge, the best way to get better at writing, or anything really, is by doing it. Trial and error is a must. So don't let your fear of not being a good enough writer stop you from writing. It's the only way you're going to get better. On top of that, it's essential to be open to reflection and feedback. I sought out as much feedback as I could get from my generous mother. I would talk her ear off any chance I got about the story and get her feedback, what ideas were compelling to her, what ideas didn't make any sense, and go from there. Then I enlisted as many of my friends as I could to be test readers and got their feedback and utilized it. When you and your friends and family have gotten your writing as good as you can on your own, then that's when all of us can benefit from hiring a professional editor or proofreader. So, now we have a novel. Next thing, adapting the novel to a pilot episode screenplay and a season 1 TV pitch. I knew from the beginning of actually writing the novel that I wanted to turn Northport 1999 into a TV show. That's personal to me because at that time, the world's largest television festival had just moved its headquarters to Duluth, Minnesota, where I live. So making a TV show was right on the tip of my mind. We'll get back to that in a bit. The idea of writing a book to then be turned into a TV show kind of gave me confidence, knowing that I wasn't placing all my creative eggs in one basket, so to speak. Maybe if the book wasn't great or whatever, or I didn't finish it or something, like that, at least I was crafting the story world and establishing the characters for what could later be turned into a TV show. Another thing that motivated me to finish the novel was knowing that most TV shows and movies nowadays are made from books, partially because the producers know there's already an established audience. So, to learn how to adapt my story into a TV show, I became a member of the Catalyst Story Road Institute, which is the educational side of the world's largest independent television festival that I mentioned earlier. They have all sorts of talks and seminars and classes. You should definitely check them out. There are also a bunch of books on this subject. The one that I can recommend off the top of my head that I read recently is Dan Calvisi's book, Story Maps, TV Drama, The Structure of the 1-Hour Television Pilot. Link in the description. So, while attending the Catalyst Content Festival in 2019, I met Pamela Cedarquist, a writer and producer. She wrote episodes for Netflix's Mindhunter, and I was lucky enough that she offered to mentor me on screenplay writing and TV show pitch writing after reading one of my screenplay drafts. I've made a handful of videos about the writing process and the adapting books to TV show screenplay process. Those will be in the description. Okay, getting selected to a TV festival. Because I took the steps of writing the book and then adapting it into a screenplay and then adapting it into a TV show pitch. And then I submitted it to festivals. I got selected to Catalyst Content Festival. My book, my script, and my pitch, all three of them, are going to be up for awards next year. I also adapted my mother, Claire Cooley's memoir, Incandescence, Rising Above Darkness, into a pilot episode screenplay and a TV show pitch, and those two were also selected to Catalyst. By the way, so was her book. So in total, we are going to be up for 6 awards at the Catalyst Content Festival next year. Fingers crossed. I know what you're thinking. You're laying it on thick, man. Me. Blah, 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 all about yourself. Why don't you pat yourself on the back, you egomaniac? I know. But I hope that the way that I have developed my story into money is a helpful roadmap, if nothing else, for you to do the same, and it can accelerate your journey. Now let's get to the part where we start actually making some money from these stories that came from our imagination and we just wrote them down. Wow, right? Okay, so how did I establish some revenue streams from this IP? There's a few things. Creating a Patreon for your story world. Because my story is multimedia, it's books, it's short films, it's illustrations, it's art and more, it's a community, I decided that the best way to share it would be through social media and Patreon, so that the viewers on my social media who wanted to go the step further and support the project and get exclusive access to the book, other content, other items, they could go and pay on Patreon through the subscription model. They also receive credit at the end of the book and shout outs in the end of the YouTube videos, yay! And they get 15% off of merch. For me, Patreon seemed like a great platform to build a community around the work while it's in development, which allowed me to start generating revenue from the project to help accelerate the growth of the project. The money from the Patreon goes back into the project expenses, including paying actors, proofreaders, and other artists. Some other revenue sources that this work has helped me generate are grants, and I have been monetized on Facebook, Instagram, and through affiliate marketing on my YouTube videos. Now let's move on to how you attract producer funding. For me, it was making a short film based on the story. As I outlined in last week's video, I decided to start making animated short films in Unreal Engine because what you can create in Unreal Engine is limitless, so the worlds and characters of my imagination could come to life. All I needed was a computer, time, and the commitment to learn how to use Unreal Engine. It's no small task, I know, but compared to what you can create with it, once you know the skills, it's pretty freaking cool. Wouldn't you agree? Anyhow, so I set out to build my own PC and then learned how to make my first short film, which is out now on Patreon. Go check it out. By sharing tidbits of my short film work in progress on social media, I was able to attract a producer to fund the project. And that helped me win grants to fund the next short film. Also, this short film will be a great tool to communicate my vision as the creator of the story world, along with the pitch materials like the script and the pitch Bible. So what I'm saying is dive in and start making shit and share it. You never know what opportunities are going to come from that. It's about committing and doing it, being consistent, sharing your voice. As I've shared my creative journey with you, remember that your story, your dream, is just as valuable as anyone else's. The path I've taken may be one of many, and your journey will be uniquely yours. Embrace your story, believe in yourself, and start making your dreams real. Your creative dreams are waiting for you to bring them to life. Nobody else is going to do it for you, but once you do, those dreams get to float into my head and into everybody else's head through their phones and their TVs and through their books. And how freaking cool is that? An idea that you had, a nightmare even. You put it down on paper, and pretty soon you can be sharing it with a community and building and growing your audience and revenue streams from that. We need your stories. Write them down, draw them, make them into films, make them into books, share them with festivals, start learning, start building community. Do it! I look forward to hearing your success stories, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. Together we can turn your dreams into vibrant reality, my man. Let's do it! If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. And now for the final segment, 20 seconds of fun, you've earned it. Okay, love you guys, bye! Red leather, yellow leather, 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 red leather, yellow leather.